does, bro.
They just looked at you and assumed you dealt with it.
Bro, let me just say, I'm warning you right now. Don't fucking touch me.
Okay.
I'm a celebrity. It's podcasting. It's for entertainment.
It's material.
And in improv, you never disagree. Okay. You always agree.
Yes and.
Because yes and you ruin the moment if you don't do it.
Cool friends.
So you have cool friends like this guy? What about him? No. He's on the fence. This guy's on the fence.
Wait.
Super on a compliment. Although you're not a stand-up comedian, because that's who I usually do podcasts with, all three of you, even you, man, right, have a playfulness like a professional comedian. I trust your instincts.
Avenues blow up. So I'm very blessed, but I didn't know I was going to be here. So
it's like that's... Are you done? It was just a long monologue.
He was just waiting.
Let me just say something. I loved what you were saying. It was just very long.
Yeah, comedians suck.
No.
I hate comedians.
No, I want to say something.
Sebastian sucked, left me on red.
Yeah.
You suck. First of all, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Do not touch me.
My bad.
Thank you.
All right. But yeah, we just need writers to edit that down. Like if we had a staff of writers, they'd be like, yeah, we'll cut that. But
I'm sorry.
Essentially, it was a really good monologue.
Usually when I do my comedy, I don't have writers in the room. I actually write my own stuff.
Okay, I can tell. Maybe you should get a writer. But my point is...
George, you had it all, buddy.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing such a good thing by lobbing the ball over there.
Yeah.
And I just wish...
You know what? I should have caught it. When you lobbied the ball, I should have caught it and then like just thrown it back or something. No, but that was very good.
It was good. The point is there. For sure.
Yeah.
I want to put one asterisk. So sad.
What I'm saying is that when you were talking, we were here for that 30 minutes. The relationship... let's go back a reel. Now we're doing real.
Yes.
Let's go back to the real, okay? There are certain...
He is clocked out.
Yeah, I know.
George has been under a tremendous amount of abuse.
George.
No, stop, George. I want you over here with me. George.
All I'm saying is that...
we need him.
That attitude right there was just unprofessional.
It was a bit unprofessional.
It was unprofessional.
Yeah, it was.
Listen, I'm a guest, right? I feel hurt and abandoned.
I know.
I feel rejected.
Me too.
And this was... bro. All right, so if he doesn't come, because I got to go now.
Bobby Lee has been doing different shows, and just yesterday was on the Impaulsive podcast and had a great appearance. It will definitely go down in history as a perfect example, a perfect showcase of what it looks like when a newbie comic tries to go at a seasoned professional comedian like Bobby Lee. And honestly, I think Mike and Logan Paul did pretty good, except for George, who, as you saw, got so mad, he got so heated that he actually walked off the podcast, which was insane. Now, some people are blaming Bobby Lee. Some people are blaming Logan Paul for not being a good friend and bashing on him. But I think a little bit different. So I thought it would be interesting to take a look. So let's get right into it. George Janko's first appearance on the podcast was back when 6ix9ine was on about 2 years ago. And he did so well back then that it eventually secured him a spot in the podcast as a co-host, then eventually gaining him some equity in the podcast. I cannot confirm that 100%. I think I remember them saying something like that, but I can't quite remember. He also claims to be a stand-up comedian, but I would argue, based on what I see on YouTube, that he is more of a vlogger than an actual stand-up comic. Now, in my opinion, what I think happened was that George was being a little bit annoying at first, touching Bobby Lee, physically turning him around, being a little bit disrespectful, and that's what I think put Bobby in that mindset to start grilling George.
And when I was at Five Guys, it was simpler. It was me with my friends. It was also sorry. It was
Your touches are very
aggressive.
hard and aggressive.
I'm so sorry.
Even that little poke, if it's like my body shuddered.
And
I don't know if it's your vibe or you know what I mean, but just don't do it again.
Okay, I won't.
You beat him.
Yeah.
Also, Bobby Lee basically schooled them for not going along with the bit and basically, not going along with the rules of improv. And George didn't react in the best way possible, because you could argue that whenever Bobby Lee does that, it is a little bit over the top. But at the end of the day, it is comedy. And if you are inviting Bobby Lee, and if you are George and you claim to be a comedian or want to be a stand-up comic, especially in LA, you should know who Bobby Lee is, or at the very least know what his style of comedy is. If he did his homework, he would have known that that was a possibility that would happen, and he would have handled it way better. But this is how a real comedian reacts to that type of situation.
Just move back a little bit. There it is. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna remove my foot and look at it.
Can I see something?
Yeah. Why are you in the power position? Calm down. Okay. I am present.
Ready?
Hold on. I'm gonna remove my foot.
I'm doing it. I'm 50.
Okay.
I can only do this for like 20 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, my thigh's getting tired. Okay, go. Okay. All right. There you go. There you go. Dude, I think you got a little under there too, bro.
Obviously, Andrew Schultz and Bobby are closer friends, but there was definitely a better way of handling that. Even Mike, you can argue what Bobby Lee was doing to Mike was 100 times worse, and he handled it pretty well. Now, what I find very funny is how George basically said that he hates comedians and they all suck because the ones that he has met haven't been the nicest to him. But here's the thing, if every single comedian that you meet doesn't like you or doesn't treat you nice, and you are the common denominator in all of these interactions, then it's probably you, the one that sucks. And here's when it gets interesting, because everything came down when he failed, when he bombed delivering his boring and long monologue.
I throw this to you too. George has always claimed that some of his days flipping burgers at Five Guys prior to all this were some of his simple and happiest days. And so it's a good question. I want to ask George, what did you want to throw something out?
Well, yeah, actually, and I don't mean this in a cocky way, but like, dude, this put me on a very strong map. And it made a lot of my avenues blow up. So I'm very
like
blessed, but I didn't know I was going to be here. So
It's like that's... You done?
Because to be honest, he wasn't contributing anything to the conversation. He wasn't adding anything of value. And in fact, was struggling to keep up, which is wild because he is a comedian. And on the other hand, Mike, who isn't, completely killed it. He was on fire the entire episode. And well, he got called out and got grilled for it because at the end of the day, it was a long and boring monologue. You can't really get upset, or if you do get upset, you just don't show it because everybody knows when you get upset, you lose. So just be cool, man. Play it off, move on. It's a show. And real quick, if you can do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a ton. And we are trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Again, if this is not a bit, I can't believe how sensitive he is, because at the end of the day, he's the one that claims to be a comedian. On the other hand, Mike isn't, and like I said, he was completely killing it. And to be honest, I did like George before, prior to this. He was a likable dude on the podcast. He was funny with the 6ix9ine interview, all that stuff. Like I said before, this was amazing to watch and will definitely go down in history as one of the best showcases of what a newbie comedian looks like whenever he tries to go at somebody that's professional and seasoned like Bobby Lee, which, if you love comedy, here's the thing. What really caused him to walk was the fact that Logan Paul called him out and the fact that he wasn't on his side the whole time, which, who cares? That's very unprofessional, because I saw a lot of comments, you know, taking sides, blaming Logan Paul for not being a good friend, not understanding his feelings and all that stuff. But bro, you are running a multi-million-dollar podcast, a show. It's a show. So again, if this is not a bit, that is the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen on a podcast that is actually aired. It's insane. Because if you remember, George was perfectly fine making fun of the Island Boys, bashing them, essentially making them walk out of their podcast, but now he's too sensitive. But in summary, it was a great episode. It was a great podcast. You should definitely watch it. There's probably like 10 minutes that you could skip, but everything else is just fire. So definitely go watch it. Bobby was great. Logan Paul, surprisingly, was great. Mike was also funny. George, at the end of the day, he gave us that amazing piece of content, so you can't blame him, but definitely not on my top list of comedians. Definitely not. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton, and we are trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. Dislike if you didn't like the video, but that is all we have for today. See ya.